It's one of those things. I know that a lot of you might be very excited, and a lot of you might be going, "Oh, hey ho, here we go!" Like very, very happy about it and stuff like that. But I, I believe it when I see it. But let's just go through it. Rishi Sunak extinguishing the right to seek refugee protection in the UK. It's not a right. It's not. It's not a recognised right in any way whatsoever. You don't have the right to live wherever the hell you want. UNHCR profoundly concerned by bill that would allow government to criminalise, detain, and deport asylum seekers. Something that they should have been doing for the last, I would say 100 years. Rishi Sunak's government has been accused of extinguishing the right to seek refuge protection in the UK by the United Nations Refugee Agency after the introduction of a contentious new law to stop small boats from crossing the channel. Now, that isn't asylum seekers. They can easily apply for that. Those are illegal migrants. They are coming, illegal immigrants. They are coming over the channel illegally by boat to sneak into the country, right? They've not applied for asylum. They're coming over illegally. Right? That's not, oh, the poor little refugee. What was wrong with France? France was safe. France was safe. So was Germany and Poland and Austria and Italy and Greece and all of those other countries they had to come through. Basically, how many countries do you need to go through and still be considered a refugee? Like, if I was in South Africa, would I be able to go to the Faroe Islands and go, I'm a refugee? I just had to pass through 30 different countries to get here. Like, I'm sorry. I've got to say, there has to be a limit. I would say 1 or 2 countries. After that, you're not a refugee. Right? As soon as you reach somewhere that's safe, you're not a refugee anymore. After Suella Braverman was forced to admit that the illegal migration bill was more than 50% likely to break human rights laws. Again, what rights? I mean, see these people like Suella Braverman and all the others, like, god damn it, I seriously wish they cared about other rights, I wish they cared about the rights of the people that live here, like speech and freedom of assembly and all this type of stuff. I wish they cared about those rights, but no. I mean, they'll make efforts for the rights of people that aren't even from here, but when it comes to the people that live here, they don't seem to care at all. If anything, they want to arrest you all the time. It's fucking weird, that, isn't it? The UNHCR said it was profoundly concerned by the bill's provisions, which give the government the right to criminalise, detain and deport asylum seekers, saying it would be a clear breach of the Refugee Convention. Fuck your convention. How about that? So I just say, like, we give enough money away, I just say, but there comes a point where it's not our problem anymore. Right, I'm sick of British intervention in the world's problems. Right, I say that we just build a great big wall around ourselves and just go full North Korea and just say to the rest of the planet, "Hey, deal with your own shit. I don't care anymore. We're going to focus on. I'm going to take some me time. I'm going to take some time for myself to reflect. We can get a bath, light some candles, get our wives pregnant. A little bit of time to focus on us. I think we've earned it. Unveiling Live, Laugh, Love, written in bubbles above the candles. So, unveiling the plans to MPs earlier, Braverman said that the law places a legal duty on the government to detain and deport all those who arrive irregularly, such as via small boats in the channel. Irregularly. That's an interesting word. Do you mean illegally because they came over the channel in a boat and not by the proper process? Is that what you mean? I think that's what you mean, but then again, this is The Guardian. Reality, the definition of words, not their strong point. There would be constraints on the rights of asylum seekers to use a judicial review to challenge decisions, she said on Tuesday, as ministers attempt to bypass the legal wrangles that have prevented the implementation of plans to send people to Rwanda. The bill will also introduce an annual cap to be decided by Parliament on the number of refugees that UK will offer sanctuary to through safe and legal routes, but only once the boats have been stopped. Look, I'll say, okay, let's extend a little olive branch. If you come through the legitimate method and you want to have your little case reviewed and stuff like that, then no problem. Hey ho, that's fine. You want to come over by boat, you can get flung in a jail cell and serve your wee sentence, and then you can get dumped somewhere else. Because a lot of the people that are coming over by boat, they originally had their asylum application rejected. And for good reasons. That's why they're coming over by boat. I've just read that. In an unusually critical statement, the UNHCR said the legislation, if passed, would amount to an asylum ban, extinguishing the right to seek refugee protection in the United Kingdom for those who arrive irregularly, no matter how genuine and compelling their claim may be. Again, why is it our problem? Why is it our problem? The effect of the bill in this form would be to deny protection to many asylum seekers in need of safety and protection, and even deny the opportunity to put forward their case. Then you should have came in by the normal methods, the legal methods. This would be a clear breach of the Refugee Convention and would undermine a long-standing humanitarian tradition of which the British people are rightly proud. Yeah, there was a time. Then people started to take the piss a little bit, didn't they? You can be nice up to a point until you start getting taken advantage of, is what I'm saying. After the introduction of the bill to Parliament, the Prime Minister came under pressure from Tory backbenchers to disengage from the European Convention of Human Rights, the ECHR. I mean, I'll admit, the ECHR, the document itself, is a fantastic piece of legislation. It's just a shame that nobody fucking uses it or reads it. Braverman wrote on the front page of the bill that she was unable to say that the provisions were compatible with the convention rights. However, when it comes to basically the case that happened with me, that was a violation of the Article 10 of the European Convention of Human Rights. I had advisors that were saying, yeah, you've got a pretty solid case, but then the ECHR managed to kick me out on a technicality. And basically, even though my trial, my charge, my sentence all violated Article 10 of the European Convention of Human Rights, the government didn't care. So, hey ho, you didn't care then. I don't see why you should care now. Anticipating a possible legal fight, the Home Secretary wrote to Conservative MPs and peers, saying that there was more than 50% chance the illegal migration bill may be incompatible with convention rights. Braverman alluded to the bill's legal complexities while announcing plans in the House of Commons. Again, why are we asking Europe? Why are we asking Europe for? Why are we asking the UN for their permission? Fuck off, right? The UN are like, this violates human rights. My guy, my G, my brother in Christ. You have Saudi Arabia on the Women's Rights Council. You've got Saudi Arabia and Iran on the Women's Rights Council. You have China on the Human Rights Council. Right, the UN. Shut up. Go away. Some of the nation's finest legal minds have been and continue to be involved in its development, she said. The bill also gives the government the power to sidestep the ECHR rulings, which were used last to stop a deportation flight to Rwanda. Several senior backbenchers, including the former party leader Ian Duncan Smith, questioned whether the bill will be enacted while remaining within the ECHR. Simon Clarke, a Conservative former minister, said the UK must leave the ECHR if the new bill aimed at tackling small boat crossings does not work. We all hope this legislation will succeed, but will she promise that if it's frustrated by the European Convention on Human Rights, that we will commit to leave it, because leave it we must if in the end this legislation is forestalled. Marc Francois said the elephant in the room is the ECHR, which he urged the government to leave. And it's a case of, it's not like Britain obeyed it anyway. Like, they don't. They literally don't obey it anyway, so I don't understand the problem. Unless we can somehow face them down, we will remain tied up in legal knots in our own domestic courts and ultimately in Strasbourg, he said. The Conservative Eurosceptic Bill Cash said the bill is much in the right direction, adding, if we don't deal with Strasbourg judgments and orders, these new proposals could not work. Will she discuss these proposed amendments, including aspects of the ECHR and also the Refugee Convention with us? Joanna Cherry, she's a little bit of a black sheep in the SNP. The SNP MP for Edinburgh South West told the Commons, isn't the plan behind this legislation simply this? The legislation will go through in the certain knowledge that the domestic courts of the United Kingdom will find that it's incompatible with international law and the European Convention on Human Rights, and then the Tories will fight the next general election on a promise to take the United Kingdom out of the European Convention on Human Rights. And some people might turn around and go, yeah, that's terrible. In fact, is there more article? Lineker. Oh, God. In fact, hey, I tell you what, there's a bit of a Gary Lineker in here as well. We can talk about Lineker. Leaving the ECHR, which was drafted in the aftermath of the Second World War and the Holocaust to protect people from state power. Yeah, and it's done a great job of that since then, hasn't it? Would breach the Good Friday Agreement. Yeah, it would actually. Shit, I didn't think about that. Yanks won't know. But Yanks won't know. But to anyone that is living in Ireland or Britain or especially Northern Ireland, it is in everyone's best interest that the Good Friday Agreement remains exactly as it is. There was a very difficult time, a very troubling time, you might call it. No comment. The only other European nations not signed up are Belarus and Russia, which has been expelled because of the invasion of Ukraine. Any decision to pull the UK out of the ECHR without an electoral mandate is likely to cause deep consternation in parts of the Conservative Party and would also face challenges in the House of Lords. Sunak on Tuesday promised to fight any legal attempt to challenge the bill, saying, "We're up for a fight, we wouldn't be standing here if we weren't, but actually we are confident that we will win." Pressed on whether he would be willing to leave the ECHR if any of the bill is found to be in breach of European law, however, he refused to do so, setting up a potential fight with his own backbenchers. "We don't believe it is necessary to leave the ECHR," he told reporters in Downing Street. "We believe that we are acting in compliance with it and meeting our international obligations." Which, yeah, no, I would say as a country, you do have a right to look out for your own best interests. And it's not a case of, oh, yeah, if you need to like open up the floodgates and let all these potential terrorists in. Because like I said before, the people that are coming over in the boats, they already tried the legal method, and then obviously investigators found some very suspicious links behind the person and went, yeah, you're not getting in because of links to terrorist groups, etc., etc. So then they just hop over on the boat. The TV presenter Gary Lineker branded the Tories' latest plan to imprison asylum seekers entering the UK as beyond awful. That's great. I would love to get a political take from a fucking football pundit. An ex-footballer, football pundit. This man, yeah, clearly knows his stuff. Lineker, who welcomed a second refugee into his Surrey home in October last year, I forgot he finally buckled, has criticised the move, quote tweeting a video of Braverman claiming that enough is enough, we must stop the boats, with the words, "Good heavens, this is beyond awful." Lineker added, "We take far fewer refugees than other major European countries. This is just an immeasurably cruel policy directed at the most vulnerable people in language that is not dissimilar to that used by Germany in the 30s, and I'm out of order." Yeah, you are out of order, because this is absolutely nothing at all to do with Nazi Germany in any way. This is a nation enforcing its border. Literally every single nation on earth does the exact same thing. Right? Are you supposed to be here? Then no, you can't come in. Everywhere does that. Same as I'm not allowed to just walk up into a random person's house because it's their house and I'm not allowed to be there. I'm not allowed to be there without consent, actually. I mean, even given under current immigration laws, we weren't exactly asked for consent about any of that either. The government decided that for us. Tory MPs criticised Lineker's comparison, with Craig McKinley saying he went too far, and Jonathan Gullis urged the BBC to remind him his job is to talk football and not politics. On Tuesday night, the Daily Telegraph quoted a BBC official as saying, "Gary will be spoken to and reminded of his responsibilities on social media." So he got pulled into a wee room and got given a little talking to, like a naughty boy. And everyone was saying, oh, and Gary Lineker made a tweet going, "It's good to see all the free speech people, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, you don't believe in free speech, Gary. You don't believe in free speech at all, right? So don't sit there and try and act like you deserve the defense from something that you vilify, right? It's like that meme where it's like, "I'm not Christian and I have nothing but contempt for your beliefs, but maybe if I say this thing to you, it will make you do as I say." That's whenever you see like any of those like leftists pure going like, "Where are all the free speech warriors?" That's pretty much the other version of that. The Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper criticised the government's record on dealing with people smugglers, and said Home Office decisions on asylum cases have collapsed, adding, "This is deeply damaging chaos, and there's no point in ministers trying to blame anyone else for it. They have been in power for 13 years. The asylum system is broken, and they broke it," Cooper said. "Serious action was needed to stop small boat crossings, with a new agreement needed with France and other countries," she added. "Instead, today's statement is Groundhog Day." In 2022, a record 45,755 migrants arrived in the UK after crossing the Channel. More than 3,000 have already made the journey so far this year, and we're only in March. Home Office figures show 197 made the crossing on Monday, the first arrivals since the 24th of February, taking the total to date to 3,150. And these are people who, when they land on the beach, they run away and vanish into the streets and stuff like that, with no idea who they are, what they do, what crimes they've committed in the past. They could be child predators, they could be rapists, they could have terrorist links. We have absolutely no idea, but someone with that kind of mindset is now running around loose in society, and the government don't even know what the motherfucker's name is. But, hey-ho, let's just let them all in, because, I mean, I want to look like a good person. I don't care. Okay, some women might get a little bit of a snuggle in an alleyway on the way home, but hey-ho, man, you can't put a price on people on the internet thinking that I'm a great guy.